So we finally made it to the time that the allotment is opening. I'm super excited about it. And they're saying that it opens the first Friday of May, which to my luck is May 2nd. You can't get any earlier in May than that is. And that means that it's time to talk about what I plan to do there this year. And I'm not talking necessarily about what I want to plant there, but also what projects that we have to do. And it's been really complicated to figure out what to do there because the land is rented. So that means that any money that we put into the allotment, we lose when we stop paying rent on that allotment. And so it's different in my home garden where I upgrade to metal raised beds, because if I decide to sell my house, either I can change the price of my house to accommodate those metal raised beds, or I can just pack them up and take them with me. Versus at the allotment, I'm not gonna pack up a fence and take it with me at the end of it. That's just weird. And so I really have to be conscious about what we're doing at the allotment and how much money we're spending. But before I get into this any further, if you're new here, my name is Bree from Urban Gardening Canada, and I garden in Ottawa's Zone 5. Last year was my first year getting an allotment with the City of Ottawa, and I couldn't be more excited. We got access to it in June and didn't really start working on it until July, and the whole place was totally overrun with weeds. It took me and my partner hours a week just to try and get anything planted in there and make it look somewhat like a garden. And I would say even now I'm really worried about coming back in May to see what it looks like, because we did not get a handle on the weeds whatsoever. Not only that, but the previous owner thought it was a good idea to plant mint in the ground, and so there is mint everywhere. And so I've been really stressed out at the idea of how I'm going to pull the mint out, and if I really want to, and where to put it, and just so many different things coming along with that, including the weeds. Not to mention my neighbor, who is directly attached to my allotment, he got access to his in July of last year as well, but didn't do any work on it and left it as weeds. And so I don't know if him and his family are coming back this year and are going to work on it, if it's going to sit vacant for a couple months before someone new takes it over. I really don't know what's going to happen. And so I'm hoping that he comes back this season and starts to clean up his plot, because I could really use the help of somebody on both sides, having us taking care of our gardens and not having weeds everywhere. So the first major project that's been stressing me out is building a fence around my allotment. And technically I don't really need one, because why? But also everybody has a fence there, so it just fits in to put a fence in. Since everybody else has one, it just looks more normal, and honestly, it kind of feels naked without a fence. It's a weird feeling. And so we did have, our plot is 50 feet by 25 feet all around. So that is 150 feet of fence line. And we did have 50 feet of chicken wire on one 50-foot side of it. And between us getting access to it and us tilling our plot, someone stole the chicken wire. And that's $50 chicken wire minimum that they stole from us, if not $100. And so I was really upset about that. I'm still upset about it, but no matter what, we had to add in more fencing, but it would have saved us a lot of money had someone not stolen that from us. And so I've been trying to turn through my mind what I want to do for fencing that costs us no money at all, because again, fencing is very expensive. It would cost us a few, maybe if we bought all of the wood new, I think we were looking at $400 to $500 for a fence, and that just doesn't make sense, again, because the plot is rented. So what I did was I reached out into my neighborhood Facebook group and asked if anybody was getting rid of a fence or a deck this season with old wood, and if I could buy the old wood from them. And surprisingly, I did get a bite where somebody is removing a ground level deck in their backyard and they no longer need it, and they've hired someone. And so I've offered to demolish the deck so that way I can take care of the wood, but they said that they paid their contractor to do it. So we'll see what happens. I really, really hope that they are careful on removing the wood, or at least let me come in and do the demo for them. But the goal is to take this old wood from this person's deck and turn it into a farm style fence where you have the posts and just maybe two railings, or the X in the middle of them. So that's the hope. that we can get that wood and it'll do a lot of the fencing, even if we have to buy some of the posts or if we buy some 2x4s and hammer them into the ground. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. So the goal right now is to try and keep the cost as low as possible. And so right now, thinking about my allotment, that is the number one goal we have, is to get a fence up first. And really all it's going to do is create a visual barrier to tell people, hey, this isn't your property, this is mine, please don't walk into it and wreck anything or steal anything. That for me is my primary goal. But if somebody is desperate for food and takes food out of my allotment, like, go for it. I am so privileged to be able to afford my own groceries. If you can't and you need to take food from my allotment, like if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. However, stealing it for the sake of stealing it, I'm not okay with. And so I'm hoping that it creates a little bit of a questionable barrier for people to make a decision on not coming into my property. So the second thing too is, because we don't get access to our allotment until May, is that's around within a couple weeks of planting time. So it really only gives us a couple weeks to build the fence and try and figure out what's going on with the weeds and at least get the ground in some sort of shape that we can be planting in them. And what I'm focusing on is fuss-free plants. And I did make a video on what fuss-free plants are and which ones would qualify as that. So if you do want to check that out, I'll link that below. And the whole goal behind this is to be able to plant out fruits, vegetables, flowers, whatever it is at my allotment, where other than if they need water, they don't need much else, no pruning, no harvesting regularly, because I don't go there every single day. And I want to make sure that when I do go there, I'm not overrun with food or I've seen things go bad. I just want to make sure that whatever I plant in there can take care of itself between my visits. And so that is what I'm focusing on with planting inside. But my next big concern with my allotment is that I've never planted in a space with that much growing room. And so I don't know if I've planted enough plants to fill up the allotment, if I have enough of my varieties that I want to grow, and just overall how it's going to turn out. I'm not overly stressed about it, but I'm having a really hard time envisioning if my allotment will be filled or if I'm going to end up with a lot of bare space that I'm like, ooh, what do I put in here? And usually I revert to planting bush beans. But the problem with bush beans is that they're so productive that I will literally be drowning in beans, and then I wouldn't know what to do with the beans other than pickle them, but then I'd be drowning in pickled beans. And so that is my dilemma. I have a bean dilemma, I guess. I don't know. So that's really what the plan is for the allotment. And we are going to be filming every single Sunday is allotment vlog. So this is going to be episode 1 of the 2025 season. And then we'll be bringing a new vlog out for you guys every single Sunday following of all the work that we're accomplishing there. And I'm hoping that we get access to this wood soon. They said that they were going to be getting their deck removed at the end of April. So I'm not quite sure when we are going to be getting that wood, but hopefully it'll be within the first couple weeks of May so we can start on that fencing project right away. So that is going to be the first project, is getting that fence up, and I'm going to be filming all of that for you guys, along with the usual conversation and banter that Colin and I have as we try and work and argue our way through everything, because that's how we like to communicate. And so it's just what, if you haven't seen any of the other videos, you'll know what I'm talking about if you have. And I'm really looking forward to it, and I really hope that this fence turns out good and doesn't just look like some shabby little thing. But even if it does, it's an allotment that we are paying I don't know, a little bit of money for every single year to grow on that is not ours. And that is the goal every time, to remember not to blow too much money on something that I can't get back. And otherwise, I think that's everything that I've been thinking about with my allotment for now, and I hope that you're looking forward to the Sunday vlog videos. It's just another chance that you can really get to know me as a person. I like to do my how-tos and instructional, so I'll continue to give you those every single Friday, but Sundays are that chance for you to really get to know me as a person and my personality and what I like to talk about, and also just see us garden as regular people working on an in-ground garden at an allotment for the first time ever. So that's everything. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comments if you're looking forward to us coming back to the allotment for season 2 of it. And otherwise, you can check out this video here, which is the full season 1 allotment video, and I hope you enjoy it. Bye.